This is a little toggle with some jungle knots. Not sure how clearly you can see in there. Might be a little bit too close, but the knot's just put in over another knot, and it works very well indeed. It's just hanging the rucksack. I'm going to stick up a tarp from Unigear and a hammock from Unigear between this tree here and this tree here. Got a few little provisions. Obviously the puppy's here. You all good, puppy? You all good? What can you smell? Hey, what can you smell? Just laid out a few little bits. Put a tiny tarp down. That's the first thing at the top of the bag. Get that down, especially when it's been a little bit damp. There's the Unigear hammock and the Unigear tarpaulin. Like most, I do prefer the DD because of all the tie outs and everything, but I'll give you a quick look at that. That bag's full of pegs, and then we've got some cooking gear there. In there, just a few little snacks and a hot drink. And obviously, he's got his drink. Are you happy? Are you happy? What is it? What is it? I think he's happy. There's the hammock set up. I'm going to deem that this end's going to be my head end. What I've done is I've wrapped it around that tree, and I always make sure that when you wrap it around, they're not tight. They don't put any strain on you. When you pull on it, it doesn't put any strain on it. And I put it, everyone's different, I put it at around about sort of belly button height. That's where I like it, off the ground. That kind of works for me. And same again with this one. What I'll do is, that one's pulling on there slightly, so I will adjust that just around the tree a little bit to bring it around. And then it's not pulling on your straps. This one is going to be changed to whoopee slings. Like I said before, this is over Unigear hammock, and it's not sponsored by Unigear or anything, but I do really like that hammock. We're going to be putting an under blanket on it, which is the one Tigress. Kind of matches all in. Obviously not the same make or anything, but very good, highly recommended little under blanket. That's with the one Tigress under quilt. Fits really nicely. I'll show you a couple of adaptations that I've done with it. For me, because I'm quite long, I put these toggles around, and the under blanket fits into that, and then that allows it. So you're on both ends. So I've got these toggles on both ends, and the under quilt hangs onto the hammock, sits down there, creates a lovely air gap, and nice little setup. Can you smell food or snacks? As with everything, it takes a little bit of shoveling and what have you to get into the hammock, and once in, it's a very nice lay flat. You feel the warmth of the underquilt. The underquilt, you can just sort of adjust and everything once you're in it, and it's bloody lovely. And our view is that. They're all growing trees, so no chance of widowmakers, hopefully. So what I'll do is, now that the hammock's up, I'll put the ridge line up and then throw the tarp over, and then we can see it all together. Great. And you're all good, aren't you? You all good? Well, here we are with the tarp all set up. It's got a couple of funny little bits to it that not quite worked out how I wanted that to go a little bit tighter, but I didn't have anything tight enough to go to it. And I use these jungle toggles with a toggle on the end, which really help. They're a great little addition. If you're interested in how you do them, I mean, they're bloody self-explanatory, to be fair. And I just run them between, obviously if we're in a high wind or anything like that, then we're not going to play it this way. And the other thing is, normally I would feed the tarp through a couple of these eyelets just to give it a better understanding of what we've got there. That's pretty much our setup here, isn't it, Paps? Is that good? Are you enjoying today? What we'll do is we'll get the kettle on and have a nice brew and have a little relax for a few minutes. Make sure everything's all done up. I can now get rid of this bag, which is my setup bag. That carries, this carries all my toggles and everything. And I just run that around my neck. And it's good, it's good. Keeps all my little bits and pieces all in together. Got my Leatherman, just in case I needed to take a couple of twigs down or whatever. And it's all very good, very enjoyable. So I'll come back in a bit probably, and on the breakdown, I might try and do a time lapse on the breakdown and see if that's pleasing to everybody. You having a good day, Pats? You having a good day? Yeah, love you, baby boy. Anyone who's ever slept in a hammock would understand just how comfortable they are once you get into that little lay, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's such a pleasure to be in, and it really is something else. Obviously, when you're in the hammock, get your head right, get your body right, and it is so comfortable. Obviously for me, I've got to be warm. You know, those of you that do know that, obviously after having the lung cancer and having a lung removed, you've got to be super careful with how you are and everything, and I've got to be warm. So taking those precautions and everything always helps. I've got the tarp open here at the moment, and that's fine. But over night time, what I would do is I would bring these straps for the tarp down lower, and cocoon myself in here a little bit more. So these, I'd bring them down a little bit lower, and it just brings this all a little bit closer. This one hasn't got a bug net, but a couple of the other hammocks that we've got do have bug nets. It's winter, we don't really need it at the moment, so it's all well and good really, and it's very pleasant. Like I say, I'd bring the tarp down slightly, but just for filming purposes I've got it way up there, so you can tell I've been jumping around a little bit, and that's what happens. But it's nice, it's so good for the mind, really good for the mind, and for the soul, you know, being out here, being out in nature. I'm literally probably 40 yards from people walking by on a footpath, and I'm probably 150 yards from where I've parked the van. I'm just out enjoying the day really with the boy, He loves it. You love it, don't you, mate? You love it. He's very well rested. He's got a few snacks and things for him to have, and yeah, I was intending to do a little bit of bushcraft stuff, but whether or not I will, I don't know. It's we've got all year. We've got all year to do that, so we'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, Happy New Year, and love, luck and happiness to one and all. Signing out from the Chief and from the puppy.